Well, we are here on SER 11 Universe. This is SmackDown. I am Jitch, New Orleans. I already botched the intro, so I thought I'd just carry on botching it. Oh! Okay, well I was about to say we've got a one-on-one match between two participants that we'll be seeing in the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber next Sunday. But it looks like Big Show's not going to waste any time bringing it to The Rock. We were going to have a one-on-one between these two, and, oh no. Oh, okay. That's not something we've seen before. Sure. But yeah, we got this match up here. We're going to be seeing a one-on-one match for the first time ever, champion versus champion. The tag team champion, Chris Jericho, goes one-on-one with the World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Orton, in the main event. And then next week on SmackDown, we'll be seeing CM Punk versus The Undertaker, as well as more issues involving the other four competitors as we get closer to the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match. We've also got Cody Rhodes versus Yoshi Tatsu. That's coming up next for a contendership at the Intercontinental Championship. As a resolution to Elimination Chamber, to make sure that there is not as much double booking as there currently appears to be, Yoshi Tatsu and Rob Van Dam will be receiving their Tag Team Championship opportunity next week on SmackDown instead of at Elimination Chamber. So we got that to look forward to at least. It seems like right now The Rock is really managing to have a bit of a comeback moment, despite the fact that the Big Show started off so strong, even connecting with so much as a knockout punch, which The Rock made very clear did not knock him out. He made that incredibly clear, actually. Tell you what, The Rock is really bringing it. You know, he's been kind of like the wild card of the match. He's definitely the one that hasn't really been so involved on SmackDown as The Undertaker, CM Punk, Big Show, and Randy Orton and Chris Jericho have all been. This is only like, what, his fourth or fifth match now, even. I mean, I know we're still a very fresh little show here, but for him to be getting involved with the World Heavyweight Championship, for him to be bringing it to the Big Show so very well, at the moment, all I'm saying is that says a lot about what we can expect from The Rock in the future. This young upstart. Making damn sure that the Big Show doesn't get any control over him in this match, and he's done a great job of it for the most part.
There may not be anything on this planet more terrifying than when the Big Show has the upper hand. Now, I'm a Rock fan, and I don't know if he'll be able to come back from this. Big Show
Just starts swinging. Rock should consider himself lucky Big Show hasn't started laying in with the many, many, many choke slams that we know him to do.
great counter by the Rock. Big Show.
Well, one may not have knocked him out, but if I had to guess, a second one probably did.
One, two, three.
Well, there you go. Big Show continues his winning streak of terror. I think he's on a pretty high number, actually. I think he's the opposite of CM Punk in terms of win-loss. I think he's now on his 8th win, I want to say, something like that. Yeah, this was his 8th win. Big Show has won 8 matches. He has been an incredibly large part of SmackDown. His partner Lex Luger says that he doesn't entirely approve of Big Show's latest actions and his attitude, which is why we haven't really seen Luger in his corner or anything lately. I don't know if the gun show are still a thing or not, but Luger is not impressed but it doesn't really matter because Big Show may be the next World Heavyweight Champion. I'd like to know who in the hell, in a dangerous structure like the Elimination Chamber, is going to stop him. Okay, well, it's showtime for the ECW Champion as he looks to get his second contendership on SmackDown.
Approaching the ring, the ECW champion, Yoshi Tatsu.
I mean, for Tatsu, all he had to do was get that championship round his waist and opportunities have come flying at him. #1 contender for the tag titles, potentially the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship. The question is he going to be able to handle all three if he can win all three? That's a lot of responsibility on one man's hands.
And his opponent from Marietta, Georgia, weighing 223 pounds, Cody Rhodes.
Tatsu has been given the privilege of being told that he will be fighting for the Tag Team Championship this time next week on SmackDown instead of having to go through the gauntlet of matches that he could be potentially facing at Elimination Chamber. So win or lose here tonight, he will be competing for the Tag Team Championship next week on SmackDown, not at the Elimination Chamber. But should he win all three, well, there's no getting out of it at WrestleMania. The story of WrestleMania is simple. Every championship is on the line at the WrestleMania event. Oh. And here comes the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, now.
Hey, it looks like the champ is going to join us. Be on your best behavior, Michael.
Miz gonna come have a ringside seat to find out who's gonna be challenging him for the Intercontinental Championship. Cody Rhodes, obviously realizing this is a street fight, has decided that he's gonna keep his top on because that's what you do in street fights. This is a false count anywhere matchup. Anything goes. Wherever they want to take it, they can take it. We've seen a really, really different, intense side of Yoshi Tatsu ever since that ECW Championship match against Terry Funk on ECW, where he won the championship. That match alone, we saw a very different side of Tatsu, and it's just kind of carried on. It hasn't really fizzled out. You look in that face, and you see a different, hunky, sexy, determined expression. No, I didn't forget. No, I won't forget. And of course, this is becoming Tatsu's specialty. He just takes a beating and keeps on going. Yoshi Tatsu takes a licking and he just keeps on ticking. Uh-oh. Well, as if things weren't bad enough for Tatsu as it is, here comes Ted with a steel chair. And of course, that's the catch with a false count anywhere match. That's what you've got to expect. DiBiase coming down here with that steel chair, perfectly legal. DiBiase hitting a finishing move on Yoshi Tatsu would be perfectly legal. I'll tell you what, if you're The Miz and you're watching this match right now, you're looking at two guys that can't just come for your Intercontinental Championship. These guys could easily come for your Tag Team Championships too.
At this point, what does Yoshi Tatsu need to do, King?
And of course, the steel chair special.
He's still not through. And he hits him with an impressive
Yoshi Tatsu's going to want to perhaps let this one go at the risk of an injury. He doesn't want to be taken out of the Tag Team Championship match next week. He doesn't want to have to vacate his ECW Championship either, I'm sure of it. Looks like DiBiase has already left the arena, which is a good sign. Yoshi Tatsu went for some kind of rolling elbow of some kind there and got whacked in the head with a chair. And Cody Rhodes just seems to be enjoying the advantage that he's been given in this match. Crossroads connects. The cover on Yoshi Tatsu. And Cody Rhodes will be the new #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship in what was a very one-sided contenders match. It just goes to show that just because you're holding the ECW title and the opportunities are flying in your direction, it doesn't mean you're always entirely ready for those opportunities.
Here's your winner, Cody Rhodes.
So Cody Rhodes will be facing The Miz in just 9 days at the Elimination Chamber for the Intercontinental Championship, which will be The Miz's third title defense since winning the championship back at Survivor Series. He and the WWE Champion Triple H are the only original champions to still be holding on to their belts like 3 months later. Well done to the Cody Rhodes, I guess. Well, we go from one Contenders match to another. This one will determine who's next in line for the Women's Championship.
Introducing first, from Montreal, Quebec, Maryse.
Well, one of the lesser featured women here on SmackDown, Maryse, getting this opportunity. There's always got to kind of be that extra one. Admittedly, we haven't seen a whole lot of either brand's women's division, but Maryse definitely we've seen a lot less than, say, the other two competitors, Eve and Michelle McCool, as well as, of course, the current reigning women's champion herself.
And her opponent, from Denver, Colorado, Eve.
So Eve going to be coming on down, ready to compete for this opportunity. We know that she actually suffered a loss on SmackDown to Michelle McCool a few weeks back in another Contenders match. That was actually the only other appearance we've had from Eve, admittedly. But she competed in a Contenders match for the Women's Championship before the Royal Rumble and lost. So this is her opportunity at redemption, I suppose. And there's Michelle McCool, who won the last Contenders matchup and lost to Beth Phoenix, and obviously feels that she's got something to prove. As she charges down to the ring, starts laying into Eve.
And the official finally signals for the match to begin.
Yeah, that's it. This match is now underway. Maryse, you know, not as affected. Turned into a 2019 indie show right there.
Good teamwork there. Michelle. And Michelle
Okay.
tremendous damage.
Didn't know that she did that. Don't really know anything about Michelle McCool though.
Drop kick.
She has a move called the Faith Maker.
You know, I love talking to Maryse.
You know, this one here.
Love the way
You know that this one here.
she's going for it.
Faith Breaker. That's what I meant. Yeah.
And there's the elbow.
Styles clash, basically.
What's the deal with Michelle McCool, gang?
Let's see if I can just get the win nice and quick.
Tell you about it. If you want to take the time to
Well, there you go.
Michelle
That's one way to impress. You come out, you strike hard, and you immediately get the win with your finishing move to be declared the contender for the Women's Championship.
Michelle McCool.
So she's going to be getting another opportunity at Beth Phoenix and the Women's Championship at Elimination Chamber in 9 days. Maybe the second time around will be the trick. Maybe it will be the one where she actually gets the gold round her waist. Maybe she just kind of slipped up the last time that she faced her. Who knows? We'll find out though soon enough. We got one more match coming your way, and hopefully it's a lot longer than these last few have been. Correction. Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho, champion versus champion, up next. Okay. Main event time as the most hated man in SVR 11 comes out.
is one half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, Chris Jericho.
So Chris Jericho makes his way down to the ring for this main event match, champion versus champion, and he's got his buddy at his corner too. Things are looking good for Chris Jericho as he looks ready to face off against the World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton. If he can beat Randy Orton, he will be looking at one of the biggest wins he will ever face in his career, because he is pinning the World Heavyweight Champion on his road to facing him for the title.
From St. Louis, Missouri, weighing 245 pounds, he is the World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Orton.
Randy Orton's track record isn't perfect. He's got 5 wins and 3 losses. He's not perfect, he's not untouchable, but he is pretty damn good. Jericho, on the other hand, won 3, lost 4. Not quite as favorable, not quite as featured as a singles competitor. And that actually is missing his most recent Fatal 4-Way win, because the wiki hasn't been updated yet since that last SmackDown, because I haven't even rendered that last SmackDown. Actually, this is the same weekend as that last SmackDown, so... Barring that, what we need to take away, what's important to point out in all of this, is that Randy Orton is definitely the one with the upper hand, but that neither of these guys are untouchable, and either one of them could suffer a loss. But a loss for Randy Orton is going to sting a lot more than a loss for Chris Jericho. The World Heavyweight Champion is dealing with an entirely different playing field to what he's become used to. He's used to the Big Show. He's used to CM Punk. He's overcome The Undertaker once. But these other 3, these other inclusions in the matchup, Chris Jericho... Other 3, hang on. Randy Orton, CM Punk's Big Show, Undertaker, that's 4. The other 2 involved in the match are completely unknowns to Randy Orton. The Rock and Chris Jericho are 2 people that he is just not going to be ready for. Admittedly, The Rock got absolutely dominated by the Big Show earlier. And they always say if you can beat one, you can beat the other. So Randy Orton being able to beat the Big Show means that he may be able to beat The Rock. But on any other night, Randy Orton may lose to Big Show. That's the thing about the wrestling world. You can never predict who's going to be the best all around, because it really depends on a night-by-night basis. Massive clothesline takedown by the World Heavyweight Champion. I gotta say, this is an anticipated match, to say the least. You know, I'm not gonna pretend that Jericho is the star of his tag team, because he isn't. I hate saying that, that sounds really harsh, but he isn't the star of his tag team. That would be The Miz. That would be the Intercontinental Champion, who has got a much better track record, who has been much more regularly featured. Absolutely, that would be The Miz. Mr. Jericho got to be careful, though. Got to hope that Jericho doesn't get banged up in this match at all. Because should Jericho get damaged in this match, well, could very well be... could very well be looking at a tougher situation ahead of them when they face off against Rob Van Dam and Yoshi Tatsu for the Tag Team Championships next week on SmackDown. Just 2 days before Jericho's got to go inside the Elimination Chamber and fight for the World Heavyweight Championship. The Miz watched as Cody Rhodes was named the #1 contender for his Intercontinental Championship as well, so Jericho may be competing for 2 championships, well, defending one, competing for another. But in the span of 2 days, The Miz has got to retain his Intercontinental Championship as well as retain his Tag Team Championship. There's nothing to gain, only to remain as the champion, whereas for Jericho, there's a lot to gain, but there's also a lot to lose. I gotta be honest, I'm a little bit nervous that Jericho's focus isn't going to entirely be on the Tag Team Championship right now. This is going to be where his mind is set. He's going to be caring more about coming out with the Tag Team Gold, with the World Heavyweight Gold, than he is the Tag Team Gold. So next week, Rob Van Dam and Yoshi Tatsu may be a bit of an advantage there. I'd like to think that Tatsu's going to care more about the WWE Tag Team titles than he ever would about the ECW, with all due respect to the ECW Championship. Although the championship is only as good as the man that makes it.
He's got him down for the pin. Turn around, ref.
That's one retaliation from Randy Orton. I gotta say, if there's one guy that's just not gonna tolerate it, well, here you go. Nicely done. Randy Orton is exactly that guy, and oh, that's a disqualification. Oh. The Miz put his hands on Randy Orton and he just got Chris Jericho disqualified. Well, that's going to cause a little bit of trouble in paradise. Jericho had everything to prove in this one, and The Miz put his hands on the World Heavyweight Champion and cost him the match. Unbelievable. What a short episode of SmackDown this has been. A little bit blown away by that. I'm sorry that this was such a short-lived episode. Everything just kind of fell in place like that. I didn't mean for that to happen. I didn't realize that could happen. So Big Show's turned his back on the fans, as if he hadn't already. Big Show defeated The Rock in what was a David and Goliath victory. It's so weird to see it called Big Show David. The Rock and Big Show's relationship has gotten even worse. Yoshi, Tatsu, and Cody Rhodes are now enemies. And Michelle McCool and Eve's relationship has gotten even worse. Okay. In terms of the SmackDown women, Michelle McCool remains number 1, but Maryse has dropped to 3, whilst Eve has increased to 2. I guess because Michelle McCool pinned Maryse. That's the same. Cody Rhodes is now the number 1 contender instead of Tatsu. Big Show has gone over CM Punk since he got his win over The Rock. And Goldust was from ECW, I think. And in terms of the top 10 on the World Heavyweight title, Cody Rhodes has found himself in the top 10 now. That's all there is to say about that one, though. So as we come back next time for Raw, we do not have that number 1 contenders match, and the reason for that is the United States Championship will be on the line on Raw, not at the Elimination Chamber. It's Kane versus Wade Barrett after Barrett won a 3-on-1, though David Otunga might have something to say about that, since he turned his back on Barrett as well. John Morrison versus Evan Bourne. I mean, it's not bad, but it's probably not happening. Santino Marella versus Chavo Guerrero, and it's back to basics with Triple H versus Jack Swagger. Well, all I can confirm is that the US Championship will be on the line between Kane and Wade Barrett, and in the main event, excuse me, and in the main event, we are going to be seeing a tag team match as DX take on Jack Swagger and Batista. That is all I can really promise you from that one. I'm pretty sure the Hart Dynasty should be getting their rematch soon too, so there might be 2 title matches on Raw this week. I'm not entirely sure yet. I just know the Hart Dynasty should probably get their rematch soon. There was something I wanted to do. Don't remember what it was now. No, it's not coming back to me. I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to do something for a second there, but whatever it was, it's gone. So, I guess I'm just going to let it go. There's not like that many features in this game, so I'm really not sure what I was thinking I needed to do. No idea. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next episode of Raw, the final episode of Raw before the Elimination Chamber, which is going to be a tough challenge for both Triple H and Randy Orton to overcome in just 7 days. Bye!